Career camps open up in South Dakota colleges.
Show choir members reflect on this year's performance.
We learn about a past trend with Aberdeen schools.
And the boys tennis team tries to start its season. Hi, I'm Jason Lopez Martinez.
And I'm Summer Ryan, and you're watching Eagle Zone. Winter weather has interrupted our school year again, and we're expected to get more bad weather, so we're releasing this week's show early.
A snowstorm canceled school on Friday. That was the 11th snow day this school year, by far the most Superintendent Becky Guffin has had to deal with during her decades in the district. We have another storm in the forecast this week. The storms have disrupted more than just school. We'll talk more about how winter weather has disrupted activities later in the show.
Career exploration camps are opening up in colleges around South Dakota, but it's not just your high school seniors who can participate. Even middle schoolers are invited to come to college campuses to see what their futures can hold. Eagle Zone's Caitlin Sarda joins us with details. Caitlin?
The South Dakota Board of Regents is offering a career exploration camp through its universities across the state. That includes Northern. Students will have the opportunity to live on campus, explore different career options, and you can't beat the price.
I think a lot of times we know what occupations that maybe our friends or family members do, but we don't really know what that all looks like and what's the day-to-day. So some really hands-on experiences to try out different career fields that they may not even be aware of.
But this camp is particularly available to middle school students. So why start so early?
It helps the junior high students see what they're going to need to be doing in 7th and 8th and 9th and 10th grade in order to kind of set themselves on that correct path to achieve their goal.
If students join, they'll spend time in a classroom, but the time won't be spent sitting through a lecture.
During the classroom sessions, they're going to have an opportunity to do hands-on activities to learn more about some of the career paths that they're interested in.
The experience is valuable, but so is the funding. The Department of Education is paying for this with a grant.
That means that there's no cost for participants to attend, but that grant also pays for activities and programming and personnel to work at the camp.
I think it's hugely beneficial. Usually camps like this have a pretty high cost associated with them, so the fact that this is something that's free that students can participate in makes it easier for many families to be able to take part in it.
The university is partnering with tech schools, so students will also take a field trip to experience other career fields. Students who participate at Northern will take their trip to Lake Area Tech in Watertown.
Thanks, Caitlin. If you want more information about the program, you can visit the Dakota Dreams website.
Aberdeen media students are back with awards from the Upper Midwest Emmys. Alice Vogel had a big night, earning 3 awards. One of this was the popular public service announcement she produced, a second for a short film, and she also earned a writing award.
I'd just like to say thank you for this award, and also thank you to all my classmates who helped me with all my productions, and also just thank you to my friends and family and the Aberdeen community for all their support. So thank you.
Eagle Zone won the award for Student Magazine Program, and Preston Creeper took first place in the Public Affairs reporting category for his coverage of the Native American boarding schools era.
So for the Public Affairs, I'm actually accepting this on behalf of Preston. He is stuck in Aberdeen in the blizzard. And then for the Eagle Zone, on behalf of my cast members who are also stuck in Aberdeen.
A couple Central students left town early and made it to the awards banquet, but the recent blizzard kept most of us snowed in, missing the event.
All 3 Central band groups are back from the NSU Large Group Contest. They performed in front of 3 judges and received scores out of 35. The Eagle Band scored a high of 33 points, while Concert Band scored a high of 34. The Symphonic Band earned 35 points from 2 judges. On the vocal side, Eagle Choir earned 34 from 2 judges. Concert Choir was a high of 33, and an a cappella group earned mostly 35s.
It's been a successful season for Aberdeen Central Show Choir. The musicians have a lot to reflect upon as they end out the year. Eagle Zone's Casey Riley joins us with details. Casey?
With the show choir season coming to a close, many students are reflecting on the season's success. Show choir is an extracurricular activity, and the students involved have had a memorable season this year, with top 5 finishes throughout the season, 2 of those being first.
A lot of singing and a lot of dancing, and we do it on stage in front of sometimes hundreds of people in costumes, and it's pretty intense.
Though the show choir is the focus of the show, there are other groups working behind the scenes to ensure the show choir sound their best.
We have an awesome show band. In fact, they received Best band at a couple different competitions this year. It's huge. They drive our energy. When they start joining us in rehearsal, it adds a whole nother element to our show.
In simple terms, show band is that we just play the music for the choir to go to sing to, you know, lay down the groove for them to move, you know what I mean?
With many students, props, music, and choreography to take into consideration, the show choir directors have started planning ahead for next year's show.
We are starting to think about it, but it takes a while. We work with our choreographer and just start brainstorming ideas, and then we start thinking costuming and ordering the music. But yeah, we'll start within the next few weeks.
Choir and show choir may seem intimidating to new students, but it is recommended that more students join these activities.
Everybody should join choir because you can learn some very valuable skills like teamwork and how to be responsible and how to get there on time and to do all those things. Show choir is just the next level up. So,
the show choir's last performance is at the Pops concert in May.
Thanks, Casey. There are 4 All-State Show Choir members from Aberdeen this year that will join 6 All-State Jazz Band members for an All-State performance in May. We'll share more details on a later show.
Science Fair winners from Central are heading to the National Science Fair in Dallas after local wins. Jai Yuang and Sophia Uttermark are grand winners in the team championship. Dustin Hermanson is a grand winner in the individual competition.
We have 6 elementaries in the town, but one is very unique as it keeps an old tradition from schools in Aberdeen's past. This week, we took a look at Lincoln Elementary. History buffs might like this school.
Do you know how old Lincoln is?
Close. It's 107. Well, kind of.
And in 1916, finally, a Lincoln School was built on the west side of Aberdeen, but it's not physically the same building as today, but it's in the same location. And believe it or not, in 1916, it was the first school to have electricity.
There's more history tied to Lincoln. There was actually another school with the same name earlier that was in another part of town.
I guess probably the biggest fun fact I can think of is if you've ever been to Lincoln and you know that little bell that's in front of the school was the original bell on the original Lincoln School from back in the 1800s.
And there's the school's name itself. It's named after President Lincoln, the only school left in Aberdeen to bear a U.S. president's name. There used to be several, but not many people, even teachers, didn't know that.
Well, I mean, like, you think of the most important ones, like George Washington was a huge president. Was there ever a Washington Elementary?
That was one. Here are pictures of others. They formed in the late 1800s and early 1900s.
1926 is when Simmons Junior High was built, and after that, all the schools were named after local people. And actually, that was something that started in this whole area.
So no more president's name on schools in Aberdeen, unless a local makes it to the Oval Office. Now, I have a question for all of you. How many former schools in Aberdeen can you list that were named after U.S. presidents? I'll share a list with you on the next show. We'll be right back after these messages created by media production students.
Welcome back. We don't have sports highlights from this week, but the boys tennis team has begun its season. EagleZone's Will Ewalt joins us to explain why this is a challenge. Will?
Spring sports started long before it looked like it outside. One of those is tennis. The tennis athletes have not had an easy start to the season.
Obviously, the weather's been an interesting battle for us. I don't know when we're going to be able to get outside, but we got a lot of guys returning.
The team has lost some strong seniors, including its 1 and 2 from last year, but has strong returning athletes as well.
Oh, our number one will be Mitchell Hofer. He's an 8th grader. He was all ESD and all state last year at Flight 3. He's got to bump up to Flight 1. He plays a lot of tennis, so I think he'll be all right. His doubles partner, our number 2, will be AJ Prain, a sophomore. Also All-State and All-ESD last year.
I think the season is going to go very well. We have a lot of young guys coming out for tennis, so I think it's going to be a little bit of a building season, but we also have a lot of strong upperclassmen. That's going to help a lot.
Although a tough start for the team, it hasn't stopped them from putting in the work to stay active.
We've got some guys that have spent more time in the weight room, in the power program, but also tennis-wise, we've got some guys that have played a lot more tennis this winter, so I think we're further along than we are most years.
And that could help make up for some of the setbacks delivered by the weather.
Difficult as a season that we've had. Obviously, we can't play outdoors right now. We do have one local privately owned indoor court that they've been really good to us, so they let us use that whenever it's available. But we can't take our whole team up there.
The team is eyeing a top 3 finish in the conference and a top 6 in the state tournament.
Thanks, Will. The team is supposed to start playing at home by the 21st. We'll see if the courts are open by then.
Now it's time to head over to the Spanish segment presented by Max Jamie. Buenas tardes, Max. ¿Qué noticias tenés para nosotros esta semana?
Hola, Jason. El estado de Dakota del Sur está ofreciendo campamentos profesionales para los estudiantes de secundaria. Los estudiantes irán a universidades del estado para aprender sobre diferentes carreras. Los consejeros escolares dicen que esto puede ayudar a los estudiantes a planificar las clases. El coro de espectáculos en Aberdeen Central está finalizando una temporada fuerte. El grupo ganó varios concursos y premios. Espera tener más cantantes en el futuro. La escuela primaria Lincoln de Aberdeen tiene mucha historia. Es la única escuela de la ciudad que lleva el nombre de un presidente. En los primeros días de Aberdeen, las escuelas llevaban los nombres de presidentes. El equipo de tenis masculino está comenzando su temporada, pero está ahora en un año difícil. La nieve está dificultando las prácticas porque las canchas de tenis no están abiertas, pero el equipo tiene buenos jugadores este año listos para competir.
Gracias, Max. The Aberdeen community had an influx of princesses over the weekend. The school's foundation held its Nights with the Princess event. The fundraiser invites girls in the community to a princess ball at the high school. There were plenty of young smiling faces and even some high school students on hand to help. The event raises money for the foundation, which supports teachers and students and offers scholarships for seniors.
That's all for this episode of Eagle Zone. You can always watch our stories whenever you want by scrolling down to the Eagle Zone section of the school district website. That's aberdeen.k12.sd.us.
We leave it this week with a look at the aftermath of last week's winter storm. With Eagle Zone, it's your boy, Jason Lopez Martinez.
And I'm Summer Ryan. See you next week.